It's a question that only one single man has ever asked. Can you beat MediEvil without jumping? In this video, we're going to take a look at this question, and we're going to attempt to use our professional gaming skills to accomplish this task. Me being a speedrunner of this game and holding the world record, I know of all the tricks and techniques that could be used to our advantage in order to avoid making jumps while completing this game. MediEvil does have platforming in it, however it's not the main focus of the game. So going into this, I'm definitely thinking that yes, we can beat this game without jumping. So here's the rules. Number 1, I can't jump. Number 2, I will finish the game no matter what it takes. Before we start, if you enjoyed this and want to see more, let me know by liking the video, and let me know in the comments how many jumps do you think it's gonna take to beat this game. Let's begin. We start off the challenge in Dan's crypt. And because I didn't know what was ahead of us in this challenge, I decided to take every item possible in this level. And there was my first mistake.
Well, that's not how you do it. Let's start again. Okay, no jumping. We cannot press circle.
And here is our first impassable obstacle. Without jumping, we can't cross this gap. And this means that we're not able to take the shield over there. Luckily, the shield is not necessary right now. We can simply walk up the slope here, and we do not have to jump to take this first life bottle. We're done here in Dan's crypt, and we can get through the graveyard with no problems. We get into Cemetery Hill, and I did not see this coming. We have to go to the top of the hill in order to get to the level exit. And this is what we're faced with. This entire hill has steps and gaps that we have to jump across. I tried for some time, and I was not able to even cross this first gap, let alone the rest of them. We can clip through this pillar here and approach the hill from a different angle. However, it does require a jump in order to clip, meaning it's not going to be an option. I went through the entire level looking for a way to skip all this, and I found nothing. And so the answer to the question, can you beat MediEvil without jumping, is no, you cannot. So how many jumps does it take to beat MediEvil? Let's find out. It's best to take this path as it takes one less jump than going the other way. That's 3 jumps already. We're forced to do another jump here, bringing the total to 4. Here's the 5th jump that we have to make. And it would take another jump to reach the exit from here. However, we can actually fall off of the edge of the level into the void by passing a death trigger using a trick known as the inventory glitch, and then begin performing a trick known as level looping. Once we fall so far in the void, eventually we reach the bottom of the void, and at this moment the game decides to put us back to the top, meaning that we have looped around to the top of the level. This means we can fall wherever we want. This is a pretty useful technique, and it's going to be used throughout this run in order to minimize the amount of jumps that we're going to have to do. So if we can't jump, we're going to have to fall until we get there instead. And this means we can skip the final 6th jump, bringing our total for Cemetery Hill to 5. If we're forced to jump already in the 3rd level, what's the rest of the game going to be like? The Hilltop Mausoleum is not a difficult level to complete without jumping. Luckily, we can walk up these steps and no jumping is required. Return to the Graveyard has its own set of challenges. Once I was able to get past this bridge, we were stopped by these steps. It takes a total of 3 jumps here to climb these steps. I was not able to find any alternative way. Another jump must be performed here into this whirlwind so that we can get up to the next area. Here we can simply fall off. It's not necessary to push the block or even jump. Coming out of Return to the Graveyard, we've already performed 9 jumps. Enchanted Earth has another challenge for us. In order to progress in the level, we have to climb up these steps. This would take 3 jumps, however we can get pushed up by the frog, and this means it can be done in only 2. This lift takes us to a large tower which requires many jumps to ascend. If we did the level normally, we would have to jump across the water here a few times, and we'd also have to jump in order to get into the boss area. We're not going to be doing any of this because we're going to be performing a level loop from this lift. Not only does this not require us to do any more jumps, it also lands us directly at the exit, meaning we finish Enchanted Earth with only 2 jumps done. This brings our total to 11. Pools of the Ancient Dead is a tricky one. Right at the start, we're already being asked to jump up here. There's no way around this raised platform. There's also a bridge that we'd have to cross, and conveniently this bridge has a hole in it, so we'd have to jump over. Not only this, we have to collect all 8 soul helmets in the level, which are scattered about in the marsh, and we are going to have to jump across gaps to get to the different islands, because when we take soul helmets, the bridges disappear. You've got to be tactical. And then on the way back, we'd also have to jump back across the bridge gap. However, if you are a professional gamer like myself, you will be aware that we can simply level loop straight to the exit that's out in the water by going down to the cliff here. This minimizes the amount of jumps needed to complete the level. I found this level to be quite puzzling. There are several ways to complete it, and I had to find which one took the least jumps. Now that we've done Pools of the Ancient Dead, we have to head on over to the lake, and this level is pretty puzzling as well. We could complete this level in several different ways. We're going to have to find which one takes the least amount of jumps. Crystal Caves actually would have required us to jump. However, we're not going to fight the dragon as there's no need for it with the glitches that we're going to be doing. Gallows Gauntlet is a tricky one. If you've been paying attention, you'll realize that we haven't got the dragon gems or the dragon armor, meaning this level would be impossible to complete. Therefore, we would have to do the dragon gate skip, which is used in the speedrun to skip this level. However, you guessed it, it does take a jump here in order to do the dragon gate skip. Luckily, I found an alternative method, which is the rune smuggle. This is going to allow us to complete this level without jumping at all. Now we have Haunted Ruins. Haunted Ruins played casually would require some jumps. There are many stairs to ascend, and we do have to climb up these in order to complete the level. So if we can't go up, we're going to have to go down. By level looping from here to the middle point of the level, we can go take the crown, give it to the king, and then perform another level loop straight to the exit of the level. No jumps required. Now, Ghost Ship is a pretty tricky one. It's notable for its platforming. The game outright forces you to jump, to bounce on these trampolines, to jump between these different moving platforms, and so on. Why do all that when I could do one jump at the start of the level and level loop straight to the exit? Entrance Hall does not require any jumps. In fact, we're going to be civilized, and instead of jumping over the stairs, we're going to walk down them. Time device would have been a problem. We have to do stuff like jump on these bouncing platforms in order to get up to the next area, jump onto the train so we can travel between areas, and you guessed it, we're level looping. And here we are in Zarok's Lair, the final level, the final boss, comprised of 3 different stages, 3 different fights, and although these green soldiers may try and confuse you otherwise, it's not actually necessary to jump to beat this level. And that's the end of the game. And if you pay close attention to this final cutscene here, you will be able to observe that Dan actually gets knocked back. He doesn't jump, okay? That doesn't count. So we were able to beat the game in only 16 jumps. That number may not be entirely accurate, as it was pretty difficult to keep track of this. And now we ask the question, what did we miss? We're now going to take a look at minimizing the amount of jumps. There are optimizations we can do in order to get the jump count even lower. Let's take a look. And before we continue, you might be asking yourself, who is it that's making all these cool MediEvil remixes that I keep hearing in the background? Well, that is me myself. Go check out my channel, NKR Beats, where we're remixing all kinds of game soundtracks. We've almost remixed every song in MediEvil. So it turns out you can actually level loop from this side instead in Cemetery Hill, meaning you avoid one jump. Great, we're down to 15. We can also avoid another jump in Cemetery Hill by standing on this rock and then jumping up to the second step. It's extremely precise. That's one more jump removed from the run. What else can we do? As cool as it was to have the frog boost us up here and get up here in only 2 jumps, we don't actually have to do that. The ground behind these steps is actually sloped, and this means we can make it in a single jump. Now check out this technique in Pools of the Ancient Dead. We're able to save some jumps here. By having this guy push us as we dash jump, we can avoid having to jump up onto this platform to jump over to the next area.
Hey, look at that.
And finally, it turns out that Ghost Ship can be completed with 0 jumps. If you go this far in the level, you can actually loop without ever having to jump at all. As for the other remaining jumps, there is no way to skip them that we found. So, can you beat MediEvil without jumping? No, unfortunately not. It does take 8 jumps at minimum in order to beat the game. Did that come as a surprise to you? Let me know down in the comments. I hope you enjoyed. This video has been in the making for quite some time. It was pretty hard to make this one, to go through all the different possibilities and edit the video together and make it proper. Make sure you subscribe if you want to see more videos like this. See you next time.